If you can only listen to one voice during your entire life, let it be the voice of God. Let it be your intuition. You see, there's so many voices that we have to listen to and are subject to throughout our lives. It's not only the voices in our mind, in the form of our thoughts, but it's also the voices of people around us, people that are close to us and people that are not so close to us. And sometimes it becomes difficult to really determine who we should actually listen to. Let's say you're faced with a big life decision, relocating to another part of the world. Some people might be for it, some people might be against it, and they all might have good points. But how do you determine who to ultimately listen to? It can be confusing because everyone's perspective comes from their own experience, comes from their own knowledge, comes from their own background. And so in between all the good perspectives, there's also an element of bias. There's also an element of subjectivity. But there is one voice among all these voices that is unbiased, that is objective, and that can give you the best advice time and time again. And that voice is, of course, the voice of God, which manifests through us in our daily lives in the form of intuition, in the form of those tiny whispers, those gut feelings that somehow are able to kind of pierce through and penetrate all the mental chatter that is going on in our minds. But you see, a lot of the times we tend to drown out our intuition. We tend to not attach too much importance to it. Instead, we favor the mind because we view the mind to be logical. We view the mind to be rational. But this is just the ego's clever ways of making us lose the connection with our own selves, with our own intuition, and of course, with God, the Almighty. So it's so important when you do have these big decisions in your life to not all of a sudden just run towards what your mind is thinking and try to analyze everything that everyone is telling you. Rather, take that all in, take it with a grain of salt, but ultimately quiet your mind enough to the point where you can actually hear what God is trying to tell you, what life is trying to tell you. You see, every day there are billions upon billions of signs that are being shared and manifested with the world. But we probably perceive not even the tiniest fraction of these signs. We probably perceive maybe 0.0000001% of these signs. But as long as we can sense that there is an aspect of life that our conscious mind will never understand, that will require us to take a leap of faith, and that will in the long run be ultimately good for us, then that's all we need, right? We don't need to know all of God's plans. We don't need to know how the story will end. We just need to trust God. We just need to take that leap of faith. Because more often than not, that will be the decision that will reap the greatest reward. If not in the near term, then in the long term, God is testing us. He's taking us through different places, both externally and internally, so that we ultimately come closer to Him, right? He's the one that brought us to this world. He's the one that even gave us this opportunity to live. So why would we not listen to Him when He has our best interests in mind? So the next time you are faced with a difficult decision, the next time you feel like you're just inundated with voices, both inside and out, just remember, there's just one voice. There's one voice that really matters. You can listen and take stock of all the other voices, but at the end, make sure that your decision is based upon what your divine voice is telling you, what your inner voice is telling you. And I promise you, you will start to make incredible decisions in your life. You'll start to view it in a whole nother way. And you will start to see a change within you, a more peaceful, a more calm, a more wise you. So let me know what you think. If you guys like this video, please drop a like. It always helps the algorithms. Please also consider becoming a subscriber. I mention this often, but I do love creating these videos on a weekly basis. So if you like more content like this, delivered right to, make sure you hit that notifications bell as well, delivered right to, your device, then please become a subscriber and, hit that notifications bell. But I'll leave you just with this final thought, which is to trust your intuition always. Life is full of difficult, complex decisions that at the end of the day, the mind is not well equipped to handle all of them. But there is one solution that can tackle all these problems, and that's your intuition. It's the master key that opens all locks. So take this key with you, never let it go, and watch how it can open all the locks in your life.